This is the G Podcast with your host, Tonya B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 229 of This is the G Podcast, y'all. What's going on? What's going on? Let's get some applause. It's been a minute. We took some time. I took a week to do a bonus episode. I just want to say a quick shout out to my guest on the bonus episode. If you didn't have a chance to check it out, please check it out. An independent candidate. And we're waiting until July 17th to see if they can get through some legal hurdles and qualify. But we'll talk about that at the end of the show. All right. I'm Tonya B. What's up, y'all? Vi the Country commentators in the building. What's up, Vi?
All good, brother. All good in the city of Columbus.
Why are you throwing up the A5 sign?
Because I'm an
Okay. All right. Just checking. But, you know, there's some fakes out there.
Hey, but
I thought you was a surfer. I thought that's what that was. I thought you were saying you're surfing.
There's a hang low, or what is it, hang ten?
I went to the old school where they can't do it no more, so definitely. I'm sorry.
Oh, boy.
I hear you. And shout out to Mary Persons. Got his Mary Persons shirt on.
Yeah, greatest coach in the state of Georgia.
And people don't know Vi's a state champ. You won the state champion, right? You were Georgia state champion.
Set the state record for the defense in the state of Georgia. Nobody scored a touchdown Nobody scored a touchdown on my defense into the championship, and it was a kickoff return all the way back, and that was it for him.
So now that when they ask why he on the show. Love it, man. You know I do.
Hey, take what I can get.
Up too.
Hey, take what I can get. Take what I can get.
Nah, that's my brother from another mother, man.
Oh,
and
yeah,
of course,
definitely.
Talib Shabazz.
Hey.
Yes. Thank you, Talib, for jumping on, man.
Man, it's always a pleasure, brother.
Yeah. Each week we do news, politics, pop culture, that piping hot tea from the one and only Tonya B, and we'll throw it to Tonya B after we wrap with this. But you know, collectively, we took a week off, as I explained. So I really wanted to get the crew back together 2 weeks after the infamous debacle, and find out where you stand on this, where each of you stand 2 weeks later. Okay, so let me play a few clips from Syracuse Mike. Again, shout out to Syracuse Mike. But I want to play a couple of clips from news, and we'll start with one kind of at the beginning of the week. Here we go.
No sooner than we reported there were no new public defections concerning President Biden's fitness to serve, that we learned that indeed another House Democrat has announced she thinks the president should step aside. Mikey Sherrill of New Jersey is the seventh lawmaker to go public. She said the stakes are too high. But South Carolina's Jim Clyburn spoke for the majority of House Democrats on the same day as Tuesday's closed-door meeting with Democrats.
We are riding with Biden.
Was there conversation about Vice President?
We are riding with Biden.
Was there conversation about Vice President Kamala Harris in there?
We are riding with Biden.
For now, Senate Democrats are sticking with the president as well.
As I've said before, I'm with Joe.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and the White House made it clear that should he be reelected, Mr. Biden plans to serve the entire 4-year term, which when it ends, he would be 86.
All right, let's go to the next clip.
Actor George Clooney has joined the chorus of Democrats calling for President Biden to step aside. Why is this news? Because Clooney is one of the Democratic Party's biggest fundraisers. His announcement gives other non-elected high-profile individuals an opening to also speak out publicly about the president's chances of beating Donald Trump. Clooney made his position clear in an opinion piece for the New York Times. He expressed his affection for Mr. Biden, but added, based on his personal interactions with him, he has become more like the person people saw at the debate. The president has appeared stronger in recent days and continues to insist that he is staying in the race. And then there was this from former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi on MSNBC Wednesday about President Biden.
It's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short.
Pelosi later said her comments were misrepresented.
And finally, this one.
Let's start with President Biden's high-profile press conference. It was live and unscripted, coming just weeks after his shaky debate performance. The president made it clear again that he believes he remains the best person to lead the nation.
My long time in the Senate and equipped me to have the wisdom to know how to deal with the Congress to get things done. We got more major legislation passed that no one thought would happen, and I want to finish it.
But what about Vice President Kamala Harris? Could she handle the job?
I wouldn't have picked her unless I thought she was qualified to be president. From the very beginning, I made no bones about that. She is qualified to be president. That's why I picked her.
Of course, it was a day when the president mixed up a couple of names, and it's those gaffes and possible future gaffes that get more attention than maybe they should. That focus has many Democrats nervous about Mr. Biden and his ability to beat Donald Trump. 2 more Democratic lawmakers called for Biden to step aside immediately after the press conference.
And I'll say this, I mean, Mike didn't mention the 2 gaffes, but they were, you know, to a certain extent, it's like typical Joe. But when he called Zelensky Putin, like President Putin, he caught himself on that one at the NATO closing. But at the press conference, when he referred to VP Harris as VP Trump, I said, "Oh shit, here we go." And you know, I guess, you know, there was a point where he could get away with it. Now it's just not the time. He's going to have to find a way to minimize and eliminate the gaps. So I'll start with you, Vi. You know, 2 weeks after the press conference, you've heard him. You've heard a couple of more rallies. You saw him at the press. I don't know if you saw the press conference, but what are your thoughts, man? Where do you stand?
My thing is, I've had concern with Biden from the jump. But my thing is, why are they acting like they're just not noticing this? This has been going on since he's been in office. He didn't get younger. He got older. Y'all knew this already. Why are y'all making a big deal out of that? Trump is catching pure D hell right now. And they are supporting him. No one in the Republicans is asking the Trump step down. My thing is, if they're going to do this behind closed doors. Because all you're doing is making us seem weak. If y'all really work, and then if y'all want Kamala Harris to run, she's the VP. So if anything happened to Trump, she's there. So what's the issue? The issue is we panicking and we look weak. We just look bad.
Okay. I'll go to you, Talib.
Man, I'm just, you know. Okay, so if Joe Biden is really just Joe Biden, and the gaffes and the mistakes and the stuttering and all that stuff is just part of who he is, then that's fine, you know. But it's seeming like it's more than that. Yeah. And that's the problem. You know, I don't have any problems. I don't, you know, even though I've talked smack and all this, you know, about Joe, I really don't have a problem throwing a little bit of weight behind him with a vote. But I need to know that if I'm giving him my vote, that I'm not just throwing it away for 4 more years.
Okay. All right. Well, let me say, man, and I told you guys, I'm a numbers guy, and I'm looking at this from a numbers standpoint only because we can. At this point, it's close enough to the election. We're not there because when we get to probably September, October, November, probably September more so, we'll have a better idea where the general public stands as they pay more attention. But I'm just not seeing much improvement in the numbers, and they've been declining since the debate, and that's my concern. And we're talking about head to head. You know, as far as his approval rating, his approval rating has already sucked, but so does Trump's. You know, right. and Kamala's. You know, but we're talking about head to head. He's not improving against Trump. So as it stands, I still sit on this standby. The fact that I don't think anybody from the outside can just come in and save this race. That's not going to happen. It's too late for that. But let me tell you, James Carville said something that I agree with. He said that they should look at bringing President Obama, former President Obama in, and Bill Clinton in, and have them run the, the Democratic National Convention this year. And really, and let me tell you why this makes sense. Because there's so much division over this, that I think these 2 guys are the pinnacle when it comes down to the party, period. There's nobody's going to listen to Jamie Harrison. Nobody's going to listen to the campaign head, but they'll listen to Obama. They'll listen to Clinton. And I agree with Carville to that point. That doesn't mean we replace him, but at least from a standpoint, and this is where what you were saying, Talib, earlier in the year makes a hell of a lot of sense. There should have been a more open process when it came down to allowing other candidates to at least become a part, because it was like, the king making is getting old with a lot of people in the Democratic Party. It is. It's getting old in politics, and so what I'm saying is, from a standpoint of something that seems open and honest and transparent, but it needs to come from Obama and Clinton. I agree with that. I think Carville is making all the sense in the world. I believe if there is a replacement, if Biden says, my numbers aren't getting any better, I'm concerned as well as you are, because quiet as it's kept, and it's already been said that his campaign is actually doing, they're running a poll, like a silent poll, to determine how Kamala would do. I don't know if you guys heard that. But they're running, the campaign has decided to kind of, test the waters with how well Kamala Harris would do running against Trump. And it looks good. I mean, she holds a lead 49-47 in a head-to-head against Trump when it comes down to, I think, the ABC Ipsos poll. She beats Trump again with women. She beats Trump 52-44. A CNN poll had Trump only beating her beating Biden 49-43. But when you replace Biden with Harris, it's 47-45 within the margin of error. So from my standpoint, I think you got Kamala there. If women are going for Kamala, if black voters are going for Kamala, then I think Kamala is the safety net in all this, okay? But they got to do it. If they're going to do it, they got to do it within the Democratic National Convention. So my whole point is, I'm not saying do it now, but you got the convention coming up. You may have to make a decision because, quite frankly, he still looks frail. He's looking, I mean, I don't know if y'all were surprised. I was surprised by that Clooney. That Clooney shit kind of came out of nowhere.
I was like, damn. I mean, because George Clooney, look, he's already lost Clooney, Rob Reiner, Stephen King. I mean, these guys are huge, like, benefactors. They spend money. They've actually, given a lot of money to the Democratic Party. And quiet as it's kept, I mean, what do you call it? Hollywood? As quiet as it's kept, liberal Hollywood funds the Democratic Party. Yes, it does. Yeah. The same way but the same way you look at when you look at what's going on with the Republican Party, these CEOs of these companies, they don't want regulation. They want the tax reform. So as quiet as it's kept, a lot of these CEOs, a lot of these companies are back in the Republican Party. So when I see the Democratic Party losing liberal Hollywood, I'm like, oh shit, something's up. The Clooney thing came out of nowhere. Go ahead, Von. It just pissing me off. I'm going, so what are y'all solution? Why are y'all waiting so late in the ball game to say this? Because it really, to me, it's just too late now. If y'all wanted somebody else to run, why don't y'all give him a viable candidate and support him and give him a chance to beat Biden? But y'all didn't do that. Y'all put all y'all rocks and money in Biden. He look old now, which he's always looked old. Now all of a sudden y'all want to flip the game, but we know politics don't work that way. It's too late. It just makes us look weak.
Well, you feel that way. I don't feel that way. Honestly, and let me say this, and it's just my opinion. I mean, honestly, I think the Democratic Party needed this. And the reason and let me tell you why. They needed to get off their ass because it was coasting. I don't know if you heard the stats, but Joe Biden has done the fewer press conference than only two presidents. I mean, he's only done more press conference than Reagan. And Reagan was old as hell. I mean,
he old. That's why he did all
let me say,
and Nixon.
And Nixon had a reason to not do press conferences. because he was a crook and he didn't want to have to tell the truth.
And Biden has a reason why not to do it. He looked old and weak.
But see, that's my point. You got to run for president. The bully pulpit is yours.
Right.
Let me say this, Vi. I'd be out there every fucking day.
But
I'd be out there every day.
I agree with you, but my thing is too late now.
No, it's not. Because
if you're gonna do it, this ain't the way to do it. Don't do it in front of the world. I mean, talk to this man, because this man's fighting y'all. So now we fight against each other.
But let me say
he said he ain't stepping down.
But let me say this. I think they know stuff that we don't know.
They probably do.
I think there are some things that have been said to Clooney and a lot of these people who are defecting that we're not hearing, that they don't want to say.
So
the other thing is, go ahead.
So you tell me they're just not finding this stuff out, so now they're saying something?
No, I mean, I think they may just be finding out some intimate details of what's really going on with Biden. They're seeing some things, but I'm not saying it's right, Vi, but I do think, what are you getting out of it? You're seeing Biden out on the campaign trail more than you've seen him prior to the debate. And I'm here to tell you, you cannot beat Trump in a bunker. You can't. You're not going to beat him hiding because you seem old. And I think what this has done, it's shaken up the party. And it's also for the future of the party, man. I think it's shaking this shit up. And people, black people, I mean, we're going to ride with Biden. I mean,
that part I agree. He needs to do something. Make him do something. He needs to be out there. Yeah. But I'm saying, this is not the way to do it, though. Make him do something, but don't get out there and say, well, I'm not going to support him. Talk to this man and say, look, dude, you got to do something. Like, Clooney could have easily pulled him behind the door and said, look, man, if you don't do something, I'm not going to support you. Instead of getting out there saying, well, I'm not going to support it.
I don't think. I'm glad that it's shaken up. And the reason I'm glad that it's shaken up, because now he's out, he's not out there doing some bullshit, geriatric kind of rallies. He has to show energy. He has to attack Trump. And he wasn't doing that before. Now he's attacking Trump. He's talking about the past, and he's also trying to present a future opportunity. I mean, he's trying to give a vision of the future, which he wasn't doing before. Now he's doing it. So if anything, it got him off his ass. Talib, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, really, I really wonder, what does all of this mean? Why did we have a debate so early? We hadn't even gotten to the conventions, and we're having a debate. Mm-hmm. It just leaves me with more questions. Does Biden really have what it takes? Suppose we do elect Biden. Are we doing it with the understanding that Kamala is right there, to provide support?
Why not?
If he's not going to make it, if we're really liking Kamala now.
Yeah.
Does Biden have more debates? I've heard people saying that, Biden should be doing more town halls than debates.
Say it again, man. Say it one more time. Say it again.
Biden should be doing more town halls than even thinking about doing a debate.
Yes.
Yeah, debates alone.
Right. Do town halls.
And the thing is who really benefits from this chaos?
Yeah.
Was somebody trying to expose Biden and the chinks in the armor? I'm not, again, we talk about conspiracy theorists and all this stuff, and I'm not trying to say that there is a conspiracy here, but you have to look at the timing of all of this. And why we're a month away from the convention.
I completely agree with you that doing that early debate was something that somebody encouraged him to do who knew this shit was going to happen.
Right.
And I think that was the only way that they could signal to the public or signal to everyone who was important, including the donors, that shit was a rock.
Yeah.
And you got to keep in mind, this is about also the donors. When the UAW steps out and says, you know what, that's a huge endorsement, the union, when they say, hey, we need to rethink this, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And when the donors start calling, that's when they start acting. Because now you can see Biden is shaking it up because the money's drawing.
And that's my next thing. I understand why the donors would be, mobilizing the way that they are. But the question really is why is the donor class so important to the general election? I know why, but what I mean is that the donor class is not we the people.
Right. But you got to keep in mind who really runs the presidency.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So that's my point. That's my point in the whole thing.
Have you seen the TikTok, the new I'm Just a Bill? The updated. No. I need to send y'all that. You need to see it. You know, from Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah, of course.
They've redone it. It's funny as hell because it's the truth.
And it's just, again,
who runs the country?
Why? Right. And why are we still having to try? Why are these people trying to perpetrate a fraud in front of us? Like the donor class doesn't run the country. Right. Like these corporations don't run the country. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. The real problem is that we, the people, are getting screwed once again. And there needs to be more mobilization on our parts. What are we as the people going to do to combat this? Because there should be, persons should not be above people.
Yeah, agreed. But let me say, man, and I'll say this, and we're going to move on because I want to hear your, big stories of the week. But I have to say, there's a level of loyalty that you give certain things. Okay, I give loyalty to my friends. I'm loyal to if you're a friend of mine, I'm going to be as loyal as I can to you. Okay, I give loyal to family. And of course, you want to give loyalty to the God you serve. Okay. But when it comes down to, politicians and sports teams and all this other shit, I ain't got no loyalty to these people. Maybe because I like to see them win or I like to see, them succeed because they're handling, our best. They're supposedly looking out for our best interest. But if it's fucked up, it's fucked up. And that doesn't mean I need to hang on to them when they're fucked up out of loyalty. You don't owe these people anything. They owe you. They serve you.
They serve me.
And my challenge is that we need to stop looking at politics and politicians like we look at sports teams, and like, this blind loyalty, hell, we don't owe Biden anything. He's had 50 plus years of politics where he's done his thing. He's a millionaire. All these folks are millionaires. We don't owe them anything. They owe us.
They owe us.
So my point is, I'm riding with Biden. I get it. That's a campaign slogan, and you believe in what his interest. I definitely ain't riding with Trump. Okay, so and when we talk about what we're talking about, it's not just an indictment of one party. It's an indictment of the system, which includes Trump. Trump is beholden to this Project 2025, even though he keeps running from it and denying it. It's his. All his former employees are a part of it.
Yep. What he said at the end, I wish him luck. Really?
Yes. He does wish him luck. Of course.
So you for it then.
Right.
You ain't said you was against it. You said, I really don't know anything about it, but I think they got some good things. I wish them luck.
Because they are beholden to, as much as, Trump went out at the beginning, or not, when the campaigning really started to heat up. He went out and told all the gas, the fossil fuel companies, hey, give me $1 billion each, and I'll give you whatever you want.
Right.
What?
Right.
And why is that not illegal?
It is to a certain
It ought to be.
Because he's basically saying,
but he's still running for president.
Well, see, yes, Vi, because that goes back to all the PAC, super PAC, I can't remember the court decision that basically legalized bribery, but allowed for, unlimited and non-reporting statuses, when it comes to this campaign finance.
Yeah.
And,
there's dark money, but you can't be involved in the PAC as a candidate. The PACs.
But he blatantly said it, though. He wasn't even trying to hide
That's
his.
my point.
It doesn't matter. These people are spending millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars.
Billions.
Right. billions of dollars. And you know, it's I don't want to sound like, you know, like we used to in elementary school, but it's not fair. It's not fair. And we have to figure out what this election is showing us is we need another system.
Yes,
we need a better system. We need a system of accountability. We need a system of responsibility, because this is terrible.
Yeah, it's
this is
up.
terrible.
I mean, and Vi, I agree with you, but it's not just making Biden look weak; it's just making our system look weak.
No, I don't make.
As a
I'm
whole.
not saying make Biden look. I'm talking about the Democrats as a party look weak, because they're not
I think
together.
it makes everything look weak.
It does.
Because it shows that we are. I mean, we all know. I mean, as members of this podcast, if you really follow politics, you know these guys are all beholden to somebody. I mean, so that ain't. You know that I don't think that's a wake up call or a secret for anybody who follows politics. But
it shouldn't be. But
it shouldn't be.
But we need again. Man, we need to do something about this. We have to do something about this. You know.
Yeah. Hey. I'll start. I don't know which one of you guys want to start. Hold up your hand. What was your big takeaway for the week? Your individual takeaway for the week. Hold up your hand. Oh, you ready, Ty? Go ahead.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Well, everybody's favorite representative from New York, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has now introduced articles of impeachment against Justice Thomas and Justice Alito. Thank you, AOC. I appreciate it, you know, because this is, I mean, what else can we do? We can't sue the Supreme Court, can we? Has there ever
Not as a
been
whole,
time?
but we can do exactly what she's doing.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. This is being that we can't, like, I couldn't bring a case against the Supreme Court to the Supreme Court. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But thankfully, we do have somebody that, even though she's still riding with Biden, you know, she's taking the necessary steps to say, hey, there's something really wrong here, and this needs to be checked.
Agreed.
You know, where it goes from there, you know, is anybody's call. You know, lifetime appointments, Clarence Thomas, you know, Alito, Kavanaugh, all these guys, you know, I'm not really sure where it's going to go from here. But thank you, somebody. I thank you, AOC, for doing something to let people, the people on the street know that we've got a voice somewhere. Because, again, this is, you know, I mean, what else can we do? There's unchecked corruption going on, and we can see it. If we can see it, we know it's happening.
Yeah. And I'll add this, man. I mean, not only should she go after Alito and Clarence Thomas, because they're the obvious ones, but she should also push to expand the court, because we can. Because there's there's no number constitutionally that holds us to the number of justices. It just has to be done by Congress. And in my opinion, when Biden took over, he was, you know, he had the House and the Senate. Because he controlled the House and the Senate, I would have gone for that, expand the court at the beginning of my presidency.
Well, Joe Biden didn't really do a lot when he had when things were in his favor, you know. So
because but he also, you know, with Manchin being independent now, and Sinema stepping down, you know, Sinema and Manchin were a problem from the beginning. They were the ones who threw the monkey wrench in everything. But I think the excuses to not at least pursue expanding the court, considering what we're up against, and I say these guys are like blatantly got their hand in the cookie jar. It's not even, I don't know if it's even hidden.
It's not. It isn't.
It's like Clarence Thomas took a trip to Russia.
Right.
You know,
Russia. Our natural enemy.
So it's just amazing, man. All right, what's yours, Vi?
Well, hope we don't get in a little trouble about this, but I must say it on my own anyway. I'm a member of Alpha Alpha, and I'm here. There's a rumor or a rule that we're finna say we're not gonna let we're gonna make a rule where the transgender not allowed to be in our fraternity. And really, I don't have a problem with that.
Wait a minute, repeat that again.
There's a rumor out that the Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is for to make a bylaw saying transgender males are now allowed in our fraternity.
Or not.
Will not be allowed to be in there.
Okay.
Right.
Which
It's the alphas. It's the alphas.
And my thing is,
Don't do it, please. Don't do it.
My thing is, we're a private organization, and that's all right.
Yeah.
Why are they the gays and the trans and why they're bullies? If you can't give them what they want, they think they deserve. You don't deserve anything. If you want one, create your own fraternity. And I have nothing against y'all, but if we don't want you in there, don't get mad and call us whatever you want to call us, an ugly name. Just say, okay, I'm gonna make my own fraternity and make it better than the alphas. Do that instead of trying to force your way in you.
Well, let me
what's
ask
your
you,
number,
Brian,
Brian?
how many?
What's your phone number? Or email. Hold up a sign with your phone number and email.
I'm just saying, make your own fraternity and make it better than alpha. But don't force your way in.
Yeah,
why you feel like y'all? Why you feel like y'all have to be in everything? No, I'm against male trans getting in a women's sports. No, you are still a male. You might be a woman, but you are still a male. You still have male organs, male strength. So no, it's unfair. So create your own sport, create your own Olympics, create your own fraternity. Do that, and you be.
But what you basically said is that the fraternity has said no. Okay.
That's the rule now.
Until there's a challenge, you currently have nothing to be concerned about. Am I correct in saying that?
No, you're not.
Or is there
They're
already
doing
a
it. That means somebody's trying to get in.
Somebody challenged. Okay.
Somebody's trying to get in.
Okay. Talib, you got a thought?
Yeah, really. I was going to ask, where did the challenge come from?
I don't know.
Where is the trans man that wants to be an alpha? Right. But only thing I'm trying to say, Vi, is that these people are throwing these legal challenges when there is no person who was injured. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a collective thing,
right? They're just throwing. Okay, let's get alphas next. And then they'll just try and take the alphas to court. But there's nobody who was rejected. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
My point is, I don't know that somebody might be getting ready to do it.
Right.
So they're just trying to say, okay, I think what we're doing, if we are doing, we're saying, okay, don't. You're not welcome.
Right.
Well, let me ask you, Vi.
So that sounds like the Republicans now.
Well, let me ask you though, Vi, and I don't know this. I'm not in a frat or a sorority. Well, I'm definitely not a frat. Okay. So my point, I just said, just for the sake of argument, okay. I'm just saying that has any female, just a woman, attempted to become a part of?
I'm saying again, I don't know. And I just recently read it about the trans. No one knows it's happening, but there must be something in it if it's coming up and it's on the internet.
Okay.
So
I'm going to say, go ahead and finish.
I mean, like I said, I don't have anything against the gays. I don't have anything against the trans. I'm all for them having their rights and everything. But you don't have a right to force your way in a private organization.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because you're going to have. I mean, it just sounds Title IX, and right now, a lot of the Title IX, especially the newer regulations, are being challenged state by state. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out, and it'll be even more interesting to see how it turns out if there's a Trump presidency.
Because I think, like the female sport, I think you got some males, and I hope I'm wrong, see that he can't beat the males, but since he can't beat the males, okay, I'm gonna say I'm a woman before I compete in the sport.
Yeah.
Now I'm Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Because
that's a huge undertaking, to change your genitalia just because.
But I'm saying,
you were a scrub. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying, I'm putting a hypothesis. I'm not saying it's happening. But I'm saying I can't see somebody doing that who want to be that great in that sport.
Yeah,
I just think it's unfair. If you want to be a woman, fine. But I don't think you should be competing in sports against women because you still a man.
Let me ask you, Vi, if there's an individual chapter anywhere in the state, anywhere in the country, okay, who accepts an individual, and it's a trans man, okay, what would you say?
Nothing. If Alpha say that was they want, then that what they want. I'm gonna remember Alpha. I'm gonna go back.
No, I mean if there's a chapter who does that.
Nothing.
Because there are white alphas. There are
right.
white.
I would not say anything. I would not say anything bad for my chapter. I would give them the alpha handshake. I would give them all the rights and privileges that alpha's supposed to have. But I would not be a member of that chapter.
Okay, I got you. Okay, but I say that, and I don't want to. I mean, I don't get into the race comparison of it's a totally different struggle that we have that black people have. But I just bring that up hypothetical. That's all.
I mean, like I said,
I get your point. I mean, that's your point. That's you.
That's just my view. And if he got in, he would get all the benefits right as alpha, as far as I'm concerned. Frat shake, I treat him genuinely. But I would not be part of that chapter because that's just how I feel. Okay,
and you know what? You have a right, and everybody has a right to have their own individual opinion. And that's why, honestly, I don't like it unless it's just something that egregious to where it's harmful to the country.
And my thing, that's my point. Why can't I have a right? Why I can't have a right to feel that way? And
why can't you have an opinion?
Right, and you treat me like I literally cuss you out to draw. No, that's my opinion. Stop trying to change my opinion.
Well,
I don't want to go through the sales pitch. Dude, this is how I feel. Leave me alone and go on with your life. Because I'm going to treat you the way you want me to treat it. I'm going to treat you with respect and everything. But don't try to force that down my throat. Because that's just how I feel.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to force my belief on you.
I got you. You got any last word on that, Talib? And I'll jump into mine. Yeah. I'm going to call it. Vi's email and social media will be available.
I feel him. And that's the funny thing is that this argument is the way I've made this argument before, and a friend of mine has said, well, that's the same thing that could have been said about the blacks in the civil rights movement. Why do I need to force? These guys are trying to force their way on me. And I should have the right to feel the way I feel about these darkies. You know what I mean? And, so it's the thing that we have to remember is that we, even in our opinions, we have to have a certain level of humanity. And I appreciate the fact that, Vi, you said you would still respect this person.
Yeah.
When they, regardless of how the decision comes down. And that's the thing, we're in a time where everything is supposedly, we're supposed haters if we don't like something. I don't hate it just because I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like if it's not for me, it's not for me. That doesn't mean I'm a hater. That doesn't mean that I don't want to see you excel and win, but I don't have to like your lifestyle.
Yeah. And mentioning that, because we got to move on for time, I'll just say I'm all for giving people their basic human rights.
Correct.
Okay. You have a right to health care, your peace, just your daily, everything that's allowed to every individual on this earth. I mean, within our country. Okay. Basic human constitutional rights. Okay. I've just always been somebody, if I look at an organization and they deny me, I just go to a better organization.
Right.
Or I start my own. Now I'm not saying that the organization is right. But it's complicated. It's complicated. And I can't, it's tough to compare it to, again, the civil rights movement was, we didn't have, and even when you say, well, we didn't have a choice, somebody will throw back, well, we didn't have a choice either. And then it gets scientific and then it gets complicated even more. So I'm going to leave that alone because that's a whole nother podcast.
Right.
So yeah, keep that on your back pocket as it continues to grow. Kind of keep us in the loop on that. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to say something that may not make people happy either, especially you, Vi. Okay.
Okay.
Shoot.
Let me say this. UGA players have had 24 arrests for reckless driving since that tragic crash killing of Devin Willock and Chandler LaCroix. Let me say that again. 24 arrests since January 15, 2023. You remember the moment? Everybody, y'all remember that? 24 incidents have occurred since that. ESPN, and I mentioned that, I don't mention this just out of the blue. ESPN reported this week that the Bulldog players, and correct me if I'm wrong on the names, Shmuel Mondon and DeMelo Jones were arrested for reckless driving. Mondon clocked at 75 miles per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone. Okay. I'm talking about weaving in and out of traffic. Basically, you got a machine that you're weaponized going in and out of traffic. Okay. In a span of days around this, redshirt freshman Bo Hughley was also arrested for reckless driving. Trevor Etienne appeared in court for DUI and reckless driving charges. I just want to mention that. And I want to say this. UGA is a public institution. It's funded by our money. Okay? So there should be a level of accountability. It's not just, okay, we'll do it if we want to. It's required because we pay their salaries. Kirby Smart's the highest paid state employee. I mean, I don't think I'm going out on a limb and saying this. In the state of Georgia. He's paid more than anybody on the payroll. He must address this shit. People say, well, boys will be boys. What the fuck? How the fuck can you say that? And we have to stop letting loyalty overshadow accountability. Because 24 incidents since the death of a player and an employee, and it's still happening. So I want to say this. I'm going to get off my soapbox. SEC Media Days are coming up as we tape on this weekend. Smart's got to address this. It can't be, well, you know, it's an independent matter. No. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Because some asses need to be put off team, okay? Or some cars. See, that's my point. That's my point. If Vi's shaking his head, we need to take these guys and let them know when they come to the university, because this is a problem. This is no different than gambling. This is illegal. You are breaking the law. Kirby Smart told my parents, your parents, me as a father, that he was going to take care of you. It's not working. Asses need to be gone. I'm going to leave it at that. All right, we don't have any time. We can come back and talk about it next week. But I will say, this is no longer a matter of player safety. It's public safety. Because who knows somebody's kid,
and the victim,
somebody's grandmother, somebody's mother, somebody else could have been killed with the reckless behavior. I love getting feedback, y'all, positive or negative, on the episodes. Love your thoughts. Go to castropolis.net, choose the people poll, leave us a voice message. I'd love to hear what you have to say, okay? Appreciate you, Vi. I'm going to give it up to you, man. Thank you. You come back next week because we'll have a chance to hear what Kirby has to say, okay? Because I do want to hear what he has to say, okay?
Yeah.
Talib, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, y'all, let's go ahead. We'll do next T with Tonya B. Let's go ahead and take a break. Appreciate y'all again, man. Appreciate you. Hey, what's up? This is the G Podcast listeners. How you doing? We want to keep bringing you awesome content without any of the annoying ads interrupting the flow. If you enjoy what you hear, consider contributing to our podcast by giving as little as $1 or whatever you can spare. Head over to our website at castropolis.net. That's castropolis.net to show your support. Thank you for being amazing listeners and for helping us keep This Is the G Podcast virtually ad-free. Your support means the world to us. Stay tuned for more fun and friendly conversations on This Is the G Podcast. Thanks again.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sippin' the tea with Tonya B.
Yes, children, it's time for tea. It's your number one entertainment chick. I am Tonya B right here on This Is the G Podcast. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share. Check out the YouTube channel. We are dipping it and doing it 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I'm just saying. Rest in peace to everyone's number one sex therapist, Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth left us, man. She talked about sex, baby, before salt and pepper, all through her life. She put it down with no shame in her game. She just left us. Yesterday, the announcement was made at the young age of 96 years young. All right, R.I.P. Dr. Ruth. Tell the truth. What's up with the Prince estate? Why are these siblings still fighting? The 3 youngest versus the 3 oldest. The judge said, hold up, wait a minute. You know nothing about running an estate. The executives will stay in place. They know how to make money. And here's the thing. The ones that are protesting the most are the ones that have never had that kind of money in their lifetime. They are set financially, so you don't need to go over there and have several seats, and let's keep it moving. Megan Good got a gig. Yes, right. You see, she's in the new Tyler Perry movie, Divorcing the Black, out there sucking face and dipping it and doing it all up and through at the cast after party with her boo-thing Jonathan Majors, who actually got a job, too. It's about time. Are they still stunting? Inquiring minds want to know. I reserve my opinion. For J-Lo, too, her marital woes are continuing. The home that she shared for 5 minutes with Ben Affleck is up on the market for sale. They've been living apart since March, so they didn't even make it to the 2-year point. Not wearing the wedding rings. We're not surprised. I hope she gets some self-confidence, because she cannot be without a man. What is up with that? She can't be without one, and she can't keep one either. And she now talking about she wants Ben Affleck to give her back some of that $20 million she put out for that documentary nobody watched, the album nobody bought, and that tour that got canceled. He didn't want that kind of life. He just wants to drink his liquor and gamble. And I think Ben has some buyer's remorse. Candy Burris is going public saying she thinks her ex-band member Latasha Scott, that's the messy one from Escape, stole her diary and told all her business, like her out there Tootsie Catting with Jermaine Dupri when he is Escape's producer and manager, and also cheating on Gerald Levert with a married man who later turned up with his wife on The Real Housewives of Atlanta when Candy was on the show. Speaking of spilling, Tracy Edmonds, now she been dumped by Deion Sanders, dumped by Eddie Murphy, and then she said that she dated Puffy. I would have kept that to myself, but Puffy never claimed her, so what does that mean? Let's go back to Eddie Murphy now. Eddie Murphy is father of 10. He can take care of all his kids. I guess he liked kids. That's all it is. He got married to the woman he's been with for 14 years. They have 2 kids. He has 8 others by a gaggle of other women. But congratulations, Eddie. Love is love. You know, he's getting a lot of shade for marrying somebody outside of the race, but that kind of has always kind of been his type. So I don't know why anybody is surprised. Are we surprised at the reason why Eddie's 2-week sham marriage to Tracy Edmonds didn't work? I heard it was because his mama didn't like her. She saw through her. Mama didn't like her. Your mom's in her business. She's in her business. Okay. Marlon Wayans, very private man. He's really going through it recently. His house was burglarized, but his brother Keenan was in the house. He must have a mega mansion. And now, you know, they say people that went outside after COVID never came back. That was him. He's with this woman. She's a model. She had a baby. And Marlon is very private, but she wanted him to go public and claim her. She's a little younger than him and looking for a paycheck. She's saying $18,000 a month in child support's not enough. But girl, if you go get a job, what is your problem? I think that's enough for a kid if he's paying for the medical and all the education. She's just looking for a come up. She need to go over in the corner with Neo and Prince's siblings and R. Kelly and Tyrese and have several seats and be quiet. Get well wishes to Whoopi Goldberg. I want to know, where is she hanging out Tootsie Catting when she got COVID for the 4th? I said the 4th time. That means she could infect the staff at The View, her co-host, and the audience. COVID's not killing folks like it used to, but it is still here, it is still real, and it will still affect your body. Ask Whoopi Goldberg, 4th time for COVID? I don't know. Well, get ready. The Smurfs movie is coming back again, but this installment is really a good one. We've got people voicing the characters such as Rihanna and Octavia Spencer. I think that's a good thing to me. Now, let me just say this. Did you watch the ESPY Awards? I saw clips. Serena Williams, Venus Williams, and Quinta Brunson put that athlete who thought women should be housewives on blast and we don't need him. She said not ever, and that is the very truth. Congratulations to the Philly John, Dawn Staley, Coach of the Year, and also to Angel, Reese's Pieces, getting their shine, as did all the athletes. Congratulations to all of them. I am your number one entertainment chick, Tonya B, right here on This Is the G Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Check the YouTube channel, subscribe to that as well, and don't forget the Birdwire on Castropolis.net, 24/7 on demand. Holla!
Thanks, Tonya B. Following our news segment, the following occurred.
We had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump.
This morning, an intensive investigation into the man believed to have been the shooter trying to kill former President Trump.
He's going down!
A man in what appears to be a T-shirt and khaki shorts on a rooftop allegedly firing an AR-15 style assault rifle in the direction of the Trump rally.
Shots fired towards the blue water tank.
The FBI overnight using DNA and biometrics to identify the suspect as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania.
And our hearts go out to the victims of this heinous act which occurred today.
Searches conducted overnight at the suspect's home and locations associated with the young man, as authorities try to piece together his background and potential motive. Law enforcement sources telling ABC News the early evidence points to the shooter being a lone wolf gunman.
We have no reason to believe that there is any other existing threat out there.
This report comes from Pierre Thomas of ABC News, and we'll talk about the fallout next week in episode 230. Gotta say happy birthday to Tonya B's sister Adrian in the DMV. Adrian, we appreciate all your support. Thank you so much. We need your support. Subscribe at This Is the G Podcast on YouTube or go to Castropolis.net. Click the embedded YouTube video on the homepage and you can subscribe there. Thank you, TikTok. Our TikTok support has been great. Follow us at This Is the G Podcast. And with that, episode 229's in the can. Have a great week, y'all. Be safe, peace, and power to the people.
You've been listening to This Is the G Podcast. And This Is the G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.